Hi, everyone, and welcome to Discover Concordia Night. It looks a little different this year than it's looked in the past, but we're still going to have a great time and give you a great overview of what it's like to be at Concordia, to have your students here and experience all the great programs that we have to offer. To give you a little bit of an overview of how tonight will work, we have our great panelists. We have our staff, our administrators, our teachers who are going to be talking throughout the evening. And then at the end, we have breakout sessions. So, how we've done this is we've set up separate Zoom sessions where you can go and talk to different departments to just more ask specific questions that have to do with Concordia, kind of those one-on-one tables that we usually have at Discover Concordia nights that we're not able to have tonight since we can't be in person. So I'll make sure and post those through the chat so that everyone can have them, but you should have received them in the email. If you're having any problems, just let us know. And if you have any questions throughout the evening, please post those in that Q&A section. I will answer as many as we can as we go along, but we'll save any live questions for the end of the evening. That'll be at the end of this first session before we go into the breakout sessions. So we're also recording tonight, so we'll be able to send it out to anyone who wasn't able to participate tonight, or if you want to reference anything that we have listed here. So at this point, I'm going to send it over to Mr. Michael Tome, our head of school.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. My name is Michael Tome. I get the pleasure to serve at Concordia Lutheran High School as the head of school. I started here at Concordia about 9 years ago as the principal, and then about 5 years ago became the head of school. So I'm delighted to be with you tonight. Although it's a little different this year, we're really happy that you've joined us to have your interest in Concordia Lutheran High School as we hopefully give you some really good information tonight, give you a chance to connect with some of our folks here at Concordia. So we're really excited. We really want you here. We really want to have Concordia be a place that you see as your high school, that you see as a great experience for your student. I have 3 children. All 3 of them are at Holy Cross right now. I have an 8th grader, a 7th grader, and a 1st grader. My 8th grader will be here next year, so we're excited for that. And then certainly planning on my other 2 sons being here when they are able. And then my wife teaches at Holy Cross, so we're tremendously invested in the Lutheran school system here in Fort Wayne. I think it's a fantastic educational opportunity for our kids, not only for the academics and all the other opportunities, but certainly for the Christ-centered nature that we provide in our system. And I just want to thank you for your interest in being here tonight. I'm looking forward to an awesome opportunity to get a chance to meet you in person one day, but also to be able to serve your students and your family here at Concordia. So again, thanks for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to throw it over to our principal, Mr. Pat Frerking, who will begin our evening in prayer.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight as we explore the depth and the excellence of our academic and our co-curricular programs here at Concordia Lutheran High School. We pray. Heavenly Father, you've blessed us to be part of a community of learners, a community of people of faith, most importantly, a community that's rooted in you, who you are, and your promise that you are with us each and every day. Be with us tonight as we explore the breadth and the depth of our programs here at Concordia. In your name we pray, amen. As Michael just said, I too, my wife and I, Susan, we're also proud parents of Concordia. Our oldest is an alum and our youngest daughter, Kaylee's a senior. Sue and I definitely understand the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. Tonight, we welcome you as we explore our village of Concordia Lutheran High School, as we take a look at our academic and our sports and our fine arts, our JROTC, and the many other programs that are going on. The tremendous blessing that Concordia has had upon our family, as Michelle and Kaylee have grown in their knowledge and their wisdom and their faith during their time here at Concordia. I know with confidence and I know with assurance that that same promise and that same experience is for you and for your family and your children as you explore and as you attend Concordia. In your 4 years at Concordia, we promise our goals are to help your child to grow as a Christ-centered and a Christ-centered citizen, as a well-rounded scholar, as a lifelong learner, as a lifelong servant, and as a disciple of Jesus Christ. Tonight, I think you're going to hear that, you're going to see that excitement, you're going to feel what does that look like in the variety of programs that you're going to see and hear and learn a little bit more tonight. So again, thank you for joining us. And I pass this over to our admissions director, Mrs. Dawn Schuler, who has put a tremendous amount of effort in getting tonight ready. So Dawn, it's all yours.
I'm the admissions director of admissions and retention at Concordia Lutheran High School, and excited to have you joining us tonight. I also have had students go through Concordia Lutheran High School. My son is a sophomore studying mechanical engineering in college, and my middle daughter, Olivia, is studying biomedical engineering as a freshman. And I have a sophomore still at Concordia, my youngest, Sophie. So it has just done a tremendous job in preparing my students for college. And Sophie's looking forward to using the knowledge that she's learning at Concordia and also going to school after Concordia. So I would like to start out with, it's Discover Concordia Night. So let's talk about the why. Why Concordia? Well, class size, small class sizes. A lot of your students are used to smaller class sizes. Our average size of our core classes are 19, and we have a faculty to staff ratio of 12:1. Now you'll notice on my slides, they might look familiar to you because we sent out an admissions guide a while back that looks like this. So if some of these slides look a little small and hard to read, or you're taking notes, you might want to refer back to your admissions guide also. So why Concordia? Academics. If you're numbers people, a lot of my numbers parents like to look at how we score on SAT and ACT exams and how it compares with the Indiana and the national average. So we have those stats here for you to see. Then we go on to all the AP dual college credit and honors classes available. If your student wants to challenge themselves, these are what we have for AP dual college credit and honors classes. You could get up to a semester of college done before, or your student could, before they even get out of Concordia. So it's all up to them how much they want to challenge themselves. But don't take my word for it. Let's listen to one of our parents. This is a parent, Erin Hartman, and hopefully it'll load quickly here.
Hi, my cheer.
Let me rewind it.
Hi, my name is Erin Hartman. My husband Russ and I have a sophomore at Concordia and also an 8th grader who will be at Concordia next year. It was important for us this year to have the kids in a classroom learning versus virtual, because I think in the spring we got a taste of what virtual looks like, and while I'm so grateful that that's a possibility, if needed, I think that the social interaction especially is what my kids miss the most. So I'm grateful for Concordia to keep the doors open for as long as it's safe. I've also noticed they've done a great job of communicating with us, and certainly it's not been a case of them just sticking their head in the sand to ignore the pandemic. They have taken a lot of measures to make sure that it's safe for our kids there, and we're very happy with how it has been handled and very grateful to be able to send our kids to school in a real classroom.
All right, let me go back to our next screen. Okay, our next why. All the activities that your student can get involved in. We have so many clubs and activities, and that's what you want your student to do. When they get into high school, you want them to get involved and find something somewhere they fit, and they can meet lots of other students and just have fun. So you'll see here we have an art club, Cadets for Social Justice, Construction, competitive esports team. That was something new this year. DECA, our marketing and business club for those students that are considering going into business and marketing after high school. Digital signage club, some of our computer students. FCCLA, which is the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. We have a German club, Helping Hand Service Club, HOSA, that's for our future health professionals, students that are looking into the healthcare field after high school. Intramurals, Latin Club, National Honor Society, Peer Ministry, Praise 150, our pro-life group, Serving Bowls, Sign Language Club, Sources of Strength, Student Council, tutoring, Kids for Tomorrow tutoring. Lots of different clubs and organizations. And then they also can get involved on an athletic team. We have over 20. We have baseball, basketball, cheerleading, cross country, football, golf, gymnastics, soccer, softball, swimming and diving. Oh, I better take a drink. Tennis, track and field, volleyball, wrestling, bowling, crew, lacrosse. I mean, they would really have to try hard to not find something to get involved in our high school. But most importantly, we're Christ-centered, a Christ-centered atmosphere. Your student's going to continue going to chapel every week. We're going to have small devotion groups called Koinonia, which are a group of students, about 11 to 12 in each group, with an adult leader, and it's a support group too, and they're going to be able to bond with those students weekly and stay with that same group all 4 years. 4 years of theology classes. So every semester, your student's going to be taking a theology class, prayer and devotions at school, and plenty of service opportunities. So those are just some of the whys. Let's hear about some more. We want to hear from some of our teachers. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the head of our drama department, Mr. Chris Murphy.
Hi, my name is Chris Murphy. I'm a graduate of Concordia. My wife teaches at ESM, and we've had 3 kids who have graduated from Concordia as well. So we're very much a Concordia family and love Concordia. I really love being a part of the theater department and the fine arts department at Concordia. We have a great department with faculty who are just outstanding in what they do and provide great opportunities for your kids. As far as the theater department goes, we have a extracurricular aspect where kids can be involved in shows. The nice thing about it is that they can be involved in a show for a season and then take a season off if they need to. They can be involved in sports and then come back and do a play later. We have a fall play as well as a fall one act. And we typically take that fall one act to a regional competition against other schools in the state. We have a winter toy box musical, which is what we're working on right now. We have a winter musical then, which this year will be Beauty and the Beast. And then we have a spring play. We also have a summer musical for alumni, which is pretty unique to have an opportunity for the alumni to come back and be able to perform. We have a middle school musical that we put together using 6th, 7th, and 8th graders from across the city. And we have a summer drama camp that we offer to give kids an opportunity just to see what they might like to do. In addition to that, we also have curricular classes that we have in the theater department. Right now, we have 6 courses that students can take: theater productions, theater arts, advanced acting, musical theater, and technical theater, which is a nice one for a kid who doesn't really want to perform, but gets to find out a little bit about lights or sound or makeup or other backstage kind of areas of the theater. So it's a great opportunity for that. Finally, one of the things that we started a couple of years ago, which has been a great hit with our kids, is our 24-hour theater festival, where kids come and they write shows. They perform them. The kids are the directors, they're the actors, they're the writers, they're the set designers. They do it all within 24 hours. So they come on Friday night at 7 and we perform on Saturday night at 7 and have a great time. It's another opportunity for a student who doesn't have much time because they're in sports all throughout the year, that this is one day of their year that they can take and just dabble a little bit in the fine arts. So it's great to have them and opportunities there. So please encourage your child to give it a shot. There's lots of ways kids can be involved in the theater rather than just always being on stage. Lots of other areas that they can find leadership and community in our program as well. So I would like to hand it over now to my colleague and friend, Tavish Schlicker.
Thanks so much, Chris. I get to talk about the music world here at Concordia Lutheran High School, and one ongoing theme that you've heard already tonight is many of our staff are also parents. I've got a senior and a freshman, and then 2 students at Holy Cross as well. On the music side, we've got a long-standing tradition of excellence in music that goes back for many years and many directors, both instrumentally and vocally. On the vocal side, we've got 5 main choirs that rehearse. There's a beginning men's chorus, a beginning women's chorus, our intermediate women's chorus called Bella Voce, and then our flagship a cappella ensemble. It's regularly 70 plus auditioned upperclassmen, evenly balanced men and women. That group has been incredibly competitively successful. They make it to the state finals almost every year. There's only one or two other schools in the state of Indiana that have made it as many times in a row as we have, which is pretty cool. There's a chamber choir that's auditioned outside of the main a cappella choir. They rehearse outside of the school day and compete in different areas. They do vocal jazz and things like that. Our music ensembles tour regularly. On the band side, we've got 4 main ensembles: our symphonic band, our cadet band, our jazz band, and our marching band. And our marching band in the class that we compete in has also been incredibly successful. So God is richly blessing Concordia Lutheran High School in the fine arts and in music. One of the things that we regularly see in music is that our students are heavily involved in lots of things. We'll have a starter on the basketball team that's also in our ensembles. We'll have folks involved in JROTC. We'll have folks involved in drama, involved in high academic standards, etc. So students at Concordia Lutheran High School regularly are achieving high in multiple areas and don't have to just pick one to really hone in on. That's a real strength and part of, I think, the core of what makes Concordia Lutheran High School awesome. I'm going to pass it over to Sergeant Conrad with the JROTC program.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Conrad, and it's a pleasure to be here tonight with you all. Unfortunately, I can't see you guys, and that makes it kind of rough. So I'm going to just try to time myself, and hopefully I say something that's impressive to you. Why JROTC? I've been involved with JROTC for 27 years now, and I will tell you, if you want your son or daughter to learn how to be a leader and to develop those skills and make them successful as leaders outside of high school, we run the finest program in the state. And I can say that unequivocally. I've studied leadership in the military. I've studied leadership at the collegiate level, and we teach heads and shoulders above what you find at all these other places. I firmly believe that when our cadets graduate high school, they are well on the road to being a positive and tremendous Christ-centered leader. It's something we stress all year long. We do this not only through the classroom, because ROTC is a classroom program, just like math and science and English. We have an academic curriculum, but we really do it through our co-curricular activities. We have a rifle team, drill teams, a robotics team, an academic competitive team, and a Raiders team, and we're always coming up with new ways to challenge the cadets. But what's important about those teams is that they're not run by the major or by myself. They're run by the cadets. And that's where they get to learn, as they learn leadership, that's where they get to develop it, because there's so much more to leadership than telling people what to do. They have to learn how to get along with other people, how to get two people who don't get along on their team to be able to get along and work as team members. And that's really the strength of our program. It's not that we're teaching high school students to be little robots marching around the gym floor, but we're teaching them how to be constructive leaders, how to develop themselves and to develop their subordinates so that they too can be positive leaders. If they stay within the program for 4 years, they have an opportunity to go from being a team member to running the team and everything that entails with that. I'm proud to say that I was a cadet at Concordia. I spent 4 years in the program, and it was something I had to come back and do as an adult. So I encourage every one of you out there to talk to your students about the ROTC program. It's an awesome program. And I will be followed by Scott Storm.
Hey, thank you, Al. Hope we're going right now. So breaks my heart that you guys aren't here tonight. As I'm looking around the room, I'm the technology coordinator and computer science instructor here at Concordia. And started this program about 9 years ago. I came on board with Michael, I believe that was 2012. And when I look around the classroom, things I see, we see video game arcades, we see things called magic mirrors, we see aquariums, digital signage. These are things that are part of the computer science program here at Concordia. This was actually developed by me, and your students at Concordia in the computer science program, this is a dual credit. We actually offer, we'll just say this, just like Sergeant Conrad said earlier, I believe that we have the best computer science program Northeast Indiana, bar none. And I say that because we are the only high school, area or otherwise, to offer 4 computer science programs for individual classes. These classes are Java programming, C# programming, robotics, and then an introduction to computer science. And all these classes offer something different. 3 of them are dual credit, so you can get credit from Purdue, and this translates into a lot of colleges are now requiring a computer science course. So you can actually get that taken care of at the high school level before you actually go off to college. In our classes, well, these are project-based classes. So 80% of what we do in the computer science class doesn't have to do with test taking and lecturing, but actually rolling up your sleeves, doing coding, doing things that you've never done before, trying things that are new. It all begins with this thing called a Raspberry Pi. So if I show that right. This Raspberry Pi is a little microcontroller. Actually, it's not the microcontroller. This is a small PC board. Microcontroller is the Arduino, which we also use. And these things can be used to program many different things, from the digital signage that you might see running behind me, to the arcades that we run through the building, to LED controllers that might control different lights that go on and off. You want to have fun. After this, Google introductory Raspberry Pi projects that you can do. Those are the kind of things that we get involved with. And what's really neat as an instructor and as a teacher is right now as we're kind of wrapping up the semester and I'm introducing students who have never coded before to programming, and they actually say, well, this isn't hard. I say, no, it's not. It is really my goal to get every student to come in and just try a computer science class, just to see if it's something that might fit them, something that they're interested in. We know there are jobs out there. So I look forward to seeing your students come in and giving them experience and exposure to the world of computers and technology, where they can do things that's very creative, very problem solving, and collaborative, learning how to think, and just be great to see them come in. With that, I'm going to hand it off to Crystal.
Good evening. I'm Crystal Castleman. I am the Science Department Chair at Concordia, and I'm also one of the Project Lead the Way coordinators. And I get the opportunity to work with some fantastic science teachers that are very creative. We are a very hands-on lab-based department. And in addition to your typical core classes that you think of when you think of science, like biology and chemistry and physics, we also have 2 pathways from Project Lead the Way. So we have mechanical engineering and we have the biomedical program. The mechanical engineering classes are really a great opportunity for students to dabble in what engineering is like. Gives them a basic look at a mechanical engineer and an electrical engineer, a chemical engineer, no matter what engineering pathway they might be interested in, it gives them the basic design protocol, and they also work with CAD programming. And those classes are elective science classes that they would take in addition to their normal science curriculum, based on whatever their pathway is, whatever they're interested in doing in the future. We also offer a biomedical program, and I get the luxury of teaching those classes. They're quite fun to teach, but for students that are interested in going into medicine, it's a great opportunity for students to learn about the different careers that are out there in the medical field. Apart from a doctor and a nurse and a lab technician, it runs the whole gamut, especially in the first year course, Principles of Biomedical Science. We have 4 classes in that pathway. So after the introductory course, they can take human body systems, which gives them an introduction to the physiology of the human body. It focuses more on that than it does the anatomy. And then their third year, they could take medical interventions. In that class, they learn about the latest techniques. And so one of the ones that we're studying is vaccinations. We just finished that, which is so appropriate for today. And they learn the difference between the rapid antigen testing that we hear about with COVID, as well as the PCR testing. So they've learned what both of those tests would be like. And then their senior year, it's a capstone course for biomedical innovations. It's a project-based course where they learn, they design a question and they answer it. So it's been a lot of fun to see what kinds of questions that these students want to research. So those are, again, elective science courses, and they're a great addition if you have a student who's interested in medicine or in engineering. And I'm going to pass it off to Kinsey Ford.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Ford. I'm a senior at Concordia. I'm in a cappella choir, I'm involved in drama, and I'm also the senior public relations manager for student government. I've been taking art classes since my freshman year. We have two art teachers, Mr. Campbell and Ms. Heisler. Mr. Campbell wasn't able to be here today, so I'm stepping in for him. There are a lot of different classes at Concordia that teach many different styles of art. I've had the opportunity to take Intro to 2D Art and Intro to 3D Art, which are the prerequisite classes that your student will be able to take before entering advanced classes. Intro classes are a great way to get an idea of what each art form includes and what you'll be experiencing. I've also taken painting, advanced 2D, advanced painting, and I'm currently in AP 2D. AP offers the opportunity to explore mediums and ideas further, and is also an opportunity to receive some college credit. There's lots of other classes too, like ceramics, graphic design, and photography courses. We have a dark room for photography students to use and a plethora of art supplies to use. There's also some art clubs for students who might not have room in their schedules for a class. These have helped me to expand on my knowledge of the elements and principles of art and my creative skills. There are many opportunities for your kids to showcase their work. We have a fine arts festival where students' work is chosen to be shown off and kind of appreciate what the students are currently working on. And pieces are also shown in the auditorium lobby for each of our plays and musicals. I'm planning on studying graphic design at St. Francis, and I wouldn't have been able to achieve this without the art program, Mr. Campbell and Ms. Heisler. It has been a very impactful and important part of my high school career, and it's an amazing way for your child to explore their creative side. And now you'll be hearing from Mrs. Erdis.
Good evening. My name is Lou Ann Erdis, and I teach in the Practical Arts Department. I wear a number of different hats. I teach electives such as accounting, business management, and marketing. And I also direct the Career Internship Program, which is an elective for seniors only. It's an application process to get into career internship based on grade point average and also attendance of the student from their junior year. The purpose of career internship is to allow students to have exposure, hands-on and observational in actual work sites. And the students follow their interests and their passions. For example, if the student's interested in interior design or architecture, they would be looking for places to go in our community to intern at that location or at a location that would suit their needs. A requirement is 70 hours of on-site location time. They can do more, they can't do less based off of the credit requirements for the course. This opportunity gives them the chance to build a network with professionals in the field. It also gives them an opportunity to see relevance in the field, to take perhaps some of those biomedical courses or anatomy courses and be able to apply that to hospital settings. I have students all over the community. It's not unusual for students to be located at Parkview Hospital, Lutheran Hospital. I currently have 2 students located at Parkview Hospital amidst this pandemic. One's at the Miro Research and Innovation Center, and the other one is actually in a surgical unit. And Parkview's mentality with the whole pandemic is our young people need to be able to see this up close and personal. It's not going to be something that necessarily will go away in their future, and they'll need to see how it's dealt with in a professional community. I have students that do a lot of our Lutheran schools because they have aspirations to go into education. I have students who aspire to be veterinarian technicians or actual veterinarians at vet clinics around the city, law firms as well. But these represent professional careers in which a student would be able to acquire an entry-level position at the high school age. So it gives them that window of opportunity. It's treated as an academic honors elective. It's 1 credit, and the curriculum is really actually going around 3 different areas, including professionalism, work ethics, and communication skills. I will be available in the breakout room after this point in time to talk with you about DECA, which was mentioned earlier by Dawn Schuler. Also, the electives that I offer and the Honors Academy is something I direct if you have questions about that as well. At this time, I'm going to pass you along back to Michael Tome for some pretty exciting news.
Wow, thank you, Luann. And, you know, it's really a treat to be able to sit in and see all of these folks out here with Discover Concordia night. So thank you so much, panelists. It's, you know, to see the breadth of Concordia Lutheran High School each day as we go along, we execute our mission as best we possibly can, but to see it in totality is a real blessing. And hopefully you're seeing the opportunities that Concordia Lutheran High School provides and the opportunities that your students would have to get involved, again, in a caring and Christ-centered environment here to be able to help them connect with their passions, connect with people that truly care about them and that want to lead them and guide them along their life journey, especially at an impressionable time here in high school. I love the fact that our faculty are so involved in our students' lives and that they take a tremendous interest in connecting them with their passions in the way that God has individually and uniquely wired them to discover their purpose for life and discover their passions. So at this point, the panelists are going to log off. So thank you, panelists, for all of your information tonight. I know it was a lot, but we certainly appreciate you guys joining us tonight and all the information, great information that you've had. They're going to log off so that they can get ready for their breakout sessions. So thank you, panelists. And I'm going to stay on and talk a little bit about tuition. So all of these great programs, everything that we get to do here, certainly the questions become, what does it cost? And that's something we've been studying quite a bit the last couple of years, to be quite honest with you. We truly believe that our program prepares young people to be Christ-centered individuals, to be lifelong learners, to be in service to each other and their community. And we certainly give them opportunities to learn about being disciples of Jesus Christ. So one of the things that we really want to make sure is that it's as affordable and accessible as possible. So we have many supporters in our community, many partners in our community to help make that happen. So usually around this time in November, we make decisions on tuition and we announce those decisions, and usually that is some type of percentage or dollar amount increase. But I'm excited to announce to you tonight that we're going in the other direction this next year. We're ratcheting tuition down a little bit. We want to make sure that it's an accessible program for folks. So I'm going to give you a couple of numbers to tell you what we've decided, as supported by our board of directors and our delegate association. And just to give you a little bit there, in the delegates, we have 17 congregations, Lutheran congregations that own and support the high school. And so they support the high school by providing scholarships for students in their congregations that are members. So with their help, along with, we have a educational foundation that is connected with our high school that also helps with tuition assistance. And then we have other programs that surround Concordia that help students access the program. So I'll give you the number that is this year's tuition was in the range of $10,700. And then we would also have charged a $725 educational materials fee. but we're changing that for next year. So next year's tuition is going to be lower. The all-in price is $9,500. So there will be no $725 fee on top of that, and that total tuition amount is $9,500. If you are a member of an association congregation, then that's an immediate $1,450 scholarship that's taken off of that $9,500 price. So you're at about $8,000, just over $8,000 for the tuition. We do participate in the Choice Scholarship Program and the SGO program. And as you pursue Concordia Lutheran High School, and as you look at the opportunities here in the financial aid packages, you'll find that there are many other options for students to receive scholarships with their academic performance, potentially through our Concordia Educational Foundation that could further reduce that price. Again, our goal is to make it as affordable and accessible to as many families as possible. Hopefully you heard tonight, we believe very strongly in what we do. We believe that as we've gone along here, although no place is perfect, we certainly truly take an interest and care for your students. We want your family to be a part of Concordia High School. And in looking at and studying over the last couple of years, and it breaks our heart when families don't choose us, when they choose to go somewhere else, and especially if that's financially related. So we've taken great measures to try to study that, try to figure out where we can meet families where they're at. We also know we're in the midst of a pandemic, and families sometimes struggle through that, depending on their own employment. But we want to make sure that it's accessible and that folks can access this great program that we have. Because ultimately what we want to do, we want them to get connected with their passions. We want them to get a great education. But ultimately what we want them to do is develop their relationship with Jesus. We want them to learn about Jesus. We want them to know about his love for them, that it never changes, pandemic or not, the highs and lows of life, not only when they leave these walls, but as they go into college and as they start their adult life and whatever it is that they're going to do, that the love of Christ is going to be with them no matter what. And that promise is for them all of their life, and that the gift of heaven is there for them regardless, and that Christ won that for us on the cross. So we tell them that every day, and we want more and more people to be able to be a part of our program, to be able to hear that. So we're announcing that with joy. We're announcing that with a lot of excitement. And again, we want to encourage people to apply to Concordia, to know that we're here to help support your child in being a part of our community. And it truly is a blessing for us to serve alongside you as parents and students, to be able to accomplish our mission, which is, and I'll end with this, to pursue Christ-centered educational excellence that equips individuals for lifelong learning and service as disciples of Jesus Christ. It's what we're all about. It's what we want to do, and we would love to partner with you to do that for your child and for your family. So at this point, I'm going to let Dawn talk a little bit more about financial aid and scholarship process. So Dawn, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. Let me share my screen once again and get down to where we left off. So that's some exciting news, great news on the lower tuition. And I commend Michael and our school board and our delegates for voting for a lower tuition and hearing the needs of our community and families. So again, tuition for this fall will be $9,500, and that includes your tech and materials fee. So all that's rolled in there, and so that's a big difference, and sure hope that that everyone's as excited about it as we are. So now I would like to talk about all the opportunities for scholarships on top of having the lower tuition. And Michael talked about the congregation scholarship that's listed on here. I'm going to go through the rest of these here. And again, in your admissions guide that you would have received in the mail, and if you didn't get one, please email me and I'll mail one out right away. There's a whole page that explains the scholarships. You can also go to our website at clhscadets.com, and then there's an admissions tab, and you can click on that, and then under scholarships, you'll see also a list of all of our scholarships. So the very first one is our Excel scholarship. This is an academic scholarship. We give out multiple Excel scholarships. So there is no magic GPA for your student to be able to apply for an Excel scholarship. I would say if they have at least a B average, definitely have them put in for our Excel scholarship. And the only thing they need to do would be to get 2 teachers to fill out the evaluations of them on our website. There's a link here. You can go underneath the scholarship page where it says teacher evaluation. If you're coming from a Lutheran school, a lot of teachers already know where to go to fill this out. The teacher will fill this out and they will hit send or submit at the bottom of the page. It goes directly to Debbie Shum, our financial aid director. So what happens then is she takes a look at the report card that you submitted, and we get test scores, we get the evaluations, and then she awards the dollar amount that will be between $500 and $1,000 if you earn an Excel scholarship. You automatically get this renewed every year as long as they maintain a GPA of at least 3.0 or higher. So that's a nice thing. You don't have to reapply every year. Then we go on to the Concordia Scholar, another academic scholarship. This one is awarded to the top 3 students that go through the process for the Concordia Scholar. This scholarship is $2,500 a year, and they get to keep this as long as they keep a 3.5 or higher on their GPA. And for this application, we can use those same 2 teacher evaluations that you already entered for the Excel scholarship. And then in addition, your student will fill out the application, and you'll see the link right there. And I think there are about 8 to 10 questions that the student answers, and then click submit, and that goes also straight to Debbie Shum. So there's a process for the Concordia Scholar. Say we get 50 applications in. The first round, they will, her and her panel will narrow it down to probably around 20 applicants. They will get a few essay questions, and then we will, I think, ask for their second quarter report card also. And then from there, they will pick usually around 7 to make it onto the interview, and then they'll pick 3 from that group once the interview's done. So the Concordia Scholar and the Excel Scholarship cannot be stacked, but you can't get both of them, but you can stack those with the other scholarships that we have listed. And then we go on to the Congregation Scholarship that Michael talked about. That's $1,450 if you're a member in good standing at one of our association churches. And what we tell all of our families is to just talk to your pastor or an elder or somebody at your church to see what it takes to be considered in good standing. So it could be 50% attendance, it could be more, it could be a meeting that you go to. So on our site, all you have to do on the application for admission is to indicate which church you're a member of. And then we will ask them in July, August timeframe, we'll give them a list of all the students from Concordia that put down they were members of their church, and they tell us which ones they will pay the congregation scholarship for. Then the next one would be the tuition scholarship. This is a need-based scholarship, and the money is coming from Concordia Lutheran High School. So for this one, you can go on our website, go down to tuition scholarship on our scholarship page, and click on TADS, T-A-D-S, TADS. That's the name of the company that we use. And this is our only scholarship that costs anything to apply. It's $39, and they handle everything. They are going to they're going to go through and evaluate all your financial information after you enter it and get your username and password. And then they will send a recommendation back to Debbie Shum on how much we should help the family with. So then the next one would be the Indiana School Choice Scholarship Program. Some of you might know it as the Indiana School Choice Voucher Program. We do participate in that. There are different levels of Indiana School Choice vouchers. There's a 50%, 70%, and 90%. So that does not mean they give you 90% off the tuition. That just means they give you 90% of what they're paying in your school district toward education of a student. So for instance, a 90% voucher for Fort Wayne Community Schools would be close to $6,000. So for more information on that, you can go to the DOE website, or you can call me or Debbie Shum, and we can help you figure out that amount. So with the Indiana School Choice scholarship program. On your application for admission, you just indicate you're interested in it or you've already received it. And then in March timeframe, Debbie will send you an email that says, hey, call our office and let's schedule an appointment to sit down together, and she will help you with the paperwork for the Indiana School Choice Voucher. That's nothing you have to go out on your own and figure out. Then the next one's a Lutheran Community Grant. This one would be for students who have parents that work at the seminary, or for Lutheran Social Services or Lutheran Life Villages, or if you're a student, if your student went to Central Lutheran School. Or we have in your admissions guide, it kind of lays out all the different things that fall under the Lutheran Community Grant, and that varies from $1,000 to $1,450 off a year. The Alumni Scholarship would be if one of the student's parents graduated from Concordia Lutheran High School, and that one is about I think $150 off tuition. It varies a little from year to year off the freshman year. And then you just indicate that on your application for admission that one of the parents graduated, and it'll ask you your graduation year. The Family Loyalty Award would be if your student already has another student or already has another sibling that is at Concordia or graduated from Concordia. Again, on the application for admission, there is an area to indicate that. And then there's a Band Booster Scholarship. And this one is through our band program, and the application's online for that. And that's between $300 and $500 off freshman year. So those are all of our scholarships. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or Debbie. Debbie has a breakout session after we're finished here, and she can elaborate on these if you have questions too. Our next page talks about applying at Concordia. So to apply for admission for your student, you will just go to our website. On the top left-hand corner of every page, it says apply now. You'll enter in, set up an account with a username and password, and you'll be able to complete the application. On the very last page of our application, you'll be able to pay the one-time $35. Actually, I forgot, we are gonna waive the application fee starting tonight. Since we weren't able to meet in person, they've decided to go ahead and waive the application fee for parents from now through December 14th, our priority application period. So when you get to that last page and ask for your credit card, make sure you put the word cadets, C-A-D-E-T-S, all lowercase, into that box, and it'll waive your application fee. So then all we really need, once I get that application in, you'll get a notification from me within 24 hours that sends a link to you to go in and upload their most recent report card from first quarter and their 6th grade iLearn scores, their test scores. Then after I get everything turned in a few weeks, you'll receive an acceptance letter, and the next step will be to schedule their freshman classes, which will be, I believe, the first week in March. We'll be doing that toward the end of February, going into the first week of March. And our priority application period goes through December 14th. So what that means is if you get all your scholarship information in and financial aid and application, report card, iLearn scores, then if you get in by December 14th, we will be able to give you your financial aid package by the middle of February. You can still apply after December 14th. You just might not get that financial aid package until March or April. So I encourage everybody to get it in so that we can get back to you as soon as we can there in February with your financial aid package. So that is it for me. Before I turn it back over to Ashley, I just want to give her a big shout out. Ashley's been a great moderator tonight, and I really appreciate all her help with this webinar. This is a new thing for us, and I just think she's done a great job. So back to you, Ash.
Thank you so much, Dawn. I appreciate it. So thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. If you have any questions, this is a great time for you to post them in the Q&A. But I'm going to feed a couple questions to our panelists while we wait to see if we have any coming in. And Michael and Patrick, this would be a great one for you, is kind of how are the teachers and students doing with this whole COVID situation? We've had some students in and out for quarantine. Just kind of how's the morale, everyone hanging on? How are we doing?
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, what a great question. I was just thinking and reflecting earlier today on when we were sitting in the summer looking at what the fall semester might look like. I actually wouldn't have imagined, or it would have been hard to imagine, that we'd be sitting here in November having accomplished everything that we've accomplished in person, having our co-curricular and extracurricular activities go as well as they went, having our boys and girls cross country team make it to the state finals, boys finishing 8th, girls finishing 10th. Certainly there's been some in and out with contact tracing and students here or not here. Teachers, it certainly is a challenge. So I would say that they are hanging in extremely well, and they've adapted well. I can't say enough about our teachers and students, the way that they have reacted and adapted since March till now. With the education, providing it as best they possibly can, and doing a fantastic job keeping kids on track and moving forward, even if they're in and out, mastering Zoom in many cases, and then keeping a high level of energy and joy among the process. So it is different. It is a challenge, but I think each day that we're able to be here face to face gives a high level of joy for our faculty and for our students, and allows us to keep moving forward. So I'm really proud of that. The environment in the building is good. And the kids that I talk to, they want to be here. So they're willing to do what it takes to be here face to face. So that's my answer. That's what I see and what I've observed. And Pat, what else would you add?
First and foremost, it's hats off to everybody for making this work. As Michael said, we've had a great fall. So much to be thankful for, so much blessed. We know God's got us in his clean hands and holding us tight. And, we've been able to play ball. We've been able to sing choir and have band playing, let alone do school and do school faithfully and consistently. And just want to echo just huge appreciation to the hard work our teachers are doing each and every day. They've got their classes and the students are in their class, and any given day, a number of students who are at home. And so there's kind of a doubling up or an echoing of what you've got going on in the classroom. With just tremendous care and tremendous purpose for those individuals as well. So the energy,
I'll add one more thing, Pat. It was really interesting and a little weird in August and September as I'm walking up and down the hallways, and you can hear the teacher teaching the classroom, but they're Zooming in from home. They've been contact traced out or something. So they're at home, healthy, dying to teach, can't wait to teach. And so they're Zooming from home. So you see their face on the screen and all the kids in the classroom, and then another responsible adult in the classroom supervising. But so that's a little different. We hadn't seen that before, but just a tremendous dedication from the teachers to make sure that they're sticking with it and staying with their students.
Thank you both. We know that we're all hanging in there and just making it work. And we're determined to keep the school open, keep the kids in school, and really just hang on through the whole year, because we believe that's what we need to do. So Dawn, I have a couple questions for you that I think would be good to answer live. We have someone who's asking about if they have 2 students that are coming in, should they apply for multiple scholarships for each student? And I would say the same question about the application.
They should each fill out an application. Is that what you mean?
Yes. And then they were asking about the scholarships. Do they need to fill out individual for each student, or is it just one?
They need to do them for each student except for TADS. I would ask Debbie Shum about that one, because they're already entering their financial aid information in once. I wouldn't think they would have to go back into TADS and do that again. So that's the only one I think you would not need to do twice. But yeah, definitely the academic scholarships, they're 2 different students. So really need to do that one. And then everything else is going to be on your application for admission, like your congregation scholarship. Are you members of a church? You'll check yes or no. And then Do they have siblings that already went through? Are the parents alumni? That'll just be yes or no questions and answers with asking for a little bit more information. So definitely on the academic scholarships, they each need to complete that. And then TADS, I think you should talk to Debbie just to make sure, but I wouldn't think you'd have to fill out TADS for both.
So, and I love this question because this is setting you up to talk about the checklist. How do we know when the recommendations letters from the teachers have been submitted for the scholarships?
Great question. I didn't get to elaborate on that because I felt like I didn't want to go over in time and overwhelm everybody, but application, you finish the application, within 24 hours, I'm sending you a notification that says, I need some checklist items, thanks for the application. Click this link and go in and upload their report card and their test score. So when you click that, it's going to take you back into On Campus where you filled out your application to begin with. You'll enter that username and password that you set up, and boom, you're going to see a checklist. So that checklist is where you can upload these items, but you'll also see on there where it says teacher evaluations. And so Debbie goes in after the teacher fills out the evaluation and she checks it off. Now, with this system, we can't go in and tell you which teacher completed it, but you'll see that if you've got both of them turned in or not. Now, this doesn't happen in real time. Debbie has to go in and manually enter this. So don't freak out if your teacher said they completed it that day and it's not checked off yet. I would give her a day or two to go in, and because it's a really busy time of year once we start getting all these applications and evaluations sent in. But that's something we have to go in and manually check off. If you're really concerned about it, you can call me and I can go into our system and look up and see which teachers turned it in, and let you know that way, or Debbie can too. Just call us if you don't see anything checked off and you have more questions.
Okay, great. Got another question. I'm hoping Pat can help on this one. I was Scott signed off, or we would send this over to him. We've got some questions about the robotics that we do. So we have a robotics club through JROTC that just started last year, I believe. And we also have students that are building it through the computer science program. So it's kind of a two-part question. They're asking what kind of leagues that we compete in for the robotics, the Lego robotics, and then also what kind of programming and coding that we offer. I know that we offer C#, and I'm pretty sure with Java and the
good job, Ashley. Well done.
Yeah. So I've sat in on a lot of Scott's talks, so I know a little bit, but I know pretty much if you have a student who's willing to run with something, he's going to work with you on it.
So I saw the question came from Thomas. So Thomas, when you get around to school, you got to get down to our JROTC classroom. There's a little arena down there where they do robotics, where you can you program as well as you kind of have a joggle or a joystick. Where you have different challenges. So challenges might be running through a maze. Another challenge might be how many stacks or knocking over a competitor stack. So we do that both internally, and then our JROTC robotics team, they actually have events against other schools that have similar JROTC programs and JROTC robotics programs. So that's kind of underneath our JROTC program. And then Mr. Storm, the gentleman that was talking a little bit earlier about all the computer technology and computer sciences programs, he has a group of students, not necessarily with robotics, but more about technology, programming solving challenges against other schools here in our Fort Wayne area with that as well. So there's a couple of other computer science challenges that happen. So there's a trophy. It's about the size of the Stanley Cup. If you don't know what the Stanley Cup trophy looks like, go look it up. A trophy that they pass off to the computer champions here in town is a pretty big thing. So there you go, Thomas.
Yeah, and I'll jump in too. So the robotics competition is a VEX competition, not Lego. So it is VEX that they compete in, and then they compete in Tech Fest. That's the one they get the big trophy, and back-to-back winners the last couple of years. So that's been great for them.
All right, thank you to everyone. Again, if you have any questions after the session's over, please contact Dawn. She'll be able to either answer your questions or connect you with the person to be able to answer it. We thank you to everyone. We recorded this, so we will be sending this out to everyone. And just like we said, there's a chat down at the bottom where I posted all the links for our breakout sessions. You also should have received it in email. So those sessions should be started by now. So feel free to jump over to those sessions. Jump in and out of any of the ones that you want to see if you need to ask a quick question, and then head over to someone else. We're keeping those breakout sessions open until 8 p.m. So if you have any follow-up, we'll stay here for a couple more minutes, but otherwise, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Looking forward to having you here at Concordia.